Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. I took off time at work so I can watch the pay-per-view. I didn't stream it because it would have been late because I was ordering pizza because me and my little brother wanted to watch it. And over that extent, we're going to take the time to review it. So Summerslam was in Nashville, Tennessee, over the Titan Stadium. And it was actually not a bad show. To be honest, there hasn't been a match I didn't barely tolerate except the opener involving Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. That was just a lack of psychology. Like so many times they try to tease over the disarmer. And the logic between selling a body part is either to restrict the move or severely injure the opponent to show how much of the upper hand the heel has. That's the extent whenever you're trying to sell over a body part. That's a primitive part of how Bianca does the finish. Because deadass, I really didn't react into most of the match, other than the slippage involving the faulty, over excessive detail of the gear. Becky had to keep adjusting those dumbass Vegeta kneecaps that she had, or Bianca doing it as soon as Becky keeps trying to mess up the shoulder or the forearm, trying to target for the disarmer, and that bitch keeps doing handsprings, handstands, just completely no-selling the move and doing gorilla presses. So it's either just make her no-sell or just do something else. Because you can't be just trying to sell over a body part and she's still doing stuff with the body while it's getting targeted. It just makes no sense, bro. It doesn't. And many wrestlers do this while they target a knee or shin or the body and they're still doing moonsaults. Dog, that makes no sense. Also, I think the opener was the Viking Raiders against the New Day. And I think the New Day still lost, trying to push over the Viking Raiders with this new attitude, with their warrior paint. I bet they're doing this to try to come off the momentum for the new God of War game. But Bianca retained with an impressive Spanish fly into the KOD. So that's the ending of the match. Not bad, but not good. It was completely average. I just thought the lack of psychology really blew me off of the match, and Bayley coming back with Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, I guess trying to sell over a faction. I mean, it was pretty obvious that Bayley was going to come back, but with an entire group. It's like, you think I'm dumb enough to come alone? She comes around just looking more of a mother, but the single mother kind. You can tell Becky's married. You can't tell Bayley's married, because she isn't. And over a 3-on-2 group, because Becky tried to have her back because they had mutual respect. So that confirmed that Becky is technically turning us the mutual babyface now. And it's a 3-on-2, right? And they could have made a statement beating up the Raw Women's Champion to cap off the show with Bayley coming back with a force. No, these chicks just walk away when they obviously have the numbers advantage. So the heels don't even try to take advantage of making a statement. That's great. That's perfectly fine. I respect that. No, I don't. The match with Logan Paul and Miz was way better. Logan Paul had just started wrestling, and this guy already does it better than guys that's been wrestling for half a decade. Guy did frog splashes from the goddamn commentary table, a top rope flying clothesline, into a standing moonsault. My man was pulling off moves that I did not expect. I don't think anybody, even himself, didn't believe he can do that. Miz also tried to mock Logan Paul's entrance with this trading card, I guess, of him that he probably got from 2010, and tried to use it as a major weapon, even though it's just bedazzled plastic. I don't know how the hell that's supposed to hurt somebody. Even if it was real gems, like, it's plastic with a gem. That's not gonna hurt. At all. So, after missing Logan, after Miz thought he had the upper hand, because Miz was dominant because they keep selling over the experience factor. Yet every time Miz gets the upper hand, Logan just finds a way to reverse it. And the fans were actually hot. After Ciampa was just sitting around after he just got ejected, and Styles came out of nowhere, Miz tried to take advantage, and it ended up with a skull-crushing finale by Logan Paul. And they keep calling Logan Paul a rookie, so this is possibly going to be a whole year thing with The Miz and Logan Paul. Match was good, but I'm telling you, if Logan Paul put this on his own personal platform that he's feuding with a wrestler that's barely even a draw as AJ Styles, like a wrestler that's in the lesser caliber than the main event scene, then nobody's going to talk about it. Like, if you told me Logan Paul was going to mess around with Brock Lesnar, I think that would be something to share, because you can do more promotion with somebody as commercialized as Brock. You're not doing that with The Miz. Logan Paul would lose followers if he was promoting The Miz on his own personal platform. There'd be no clout to have facing a guy like The Miz and trying to see if you could actually draw more of a following with that. If that was the case, Raw would have more viewers. That's not Tyson interacting with Austin. This is Logan Paul with an upper mid Carter. Next up, we had another great match in Austin Theory against Lashley for the United States Championship. They keep selling over the factor that he might come up as a three-way champion, holding on to both the world titles and the U.S. Championship. But seeing that we know that he's probably not going to win both belts after just losing the U.S. title back at Money in the Bank, and of course that they're obviously not going to sell a factor of him being world champion yet until later in the year, because it would just be too much of a rush to have, like, Lesnar hold on to the belt, then you cash in. Sure, that would be cause for a surprise, but no, they're probably not going to do it. But Theory, he kept doing those under the second rope, like, roll downs into moves, and it's so extra because the opponent's still standing. Bro, like, it was so unnecessary. It was cool when he knocked over those drop kicks, but Lashley was just overpowering, even though he started with a pre-match assault hitting him with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Barely made a factor into the rest of the night. Just kept hitting him around the barricade. Lashley was still hitting him as a rag doll, and as soon as Austin thought he always had the upper hand, Lashley pushed him with a power slam, then a gorilla press after Austin thought he had the upper hand again. Hits him with the hurt lock after having him the gorilla press so he can actually have Austin Theory not escape. Good match. Austin looked as a determined, desperate heel, but we know that he was going to lose anyway. Pretty okay. I'm not going to lie. So, right now, like, 2 out of 3 matches, bro, they've all been entertaining, and then we had another entertaining match, the Mysterios against the New Day. I mean the Judgment Day. They're both gay, but they're white. If you guys know who Murdoch is, he's that guy from Tekken with the long hair from Tekken 4. That's what Damian Priest looks like, bro. Nobody's gonna tell me any different, dog. Like, Damian Priest has as much charisma as a wrestling otaku getting, consent for sexual intercourse. And that's how disgusting these jobbers is. And it's sad how when Edge was literally the leader of the faction, they looked like a legitimate dominant group. They didn't lose a pay-per-view when Edge was there, and then immediately they're getting jobbed over Mullet, Dominic Mysterio, and Rey. And they kept teasing over the factor that possibly that Dominic was going to get converted. That would actually be cool drama. We had Edge coming back instead, spearing both Priest and Finn Balor. Rhea Ripley was also there. I think she was still injured, so she couldn't compete. It was supposed to be her versus Liv Morgan, I think, at either Money in the Bank. But she's back, and she was there for the distraction and to stop the double 619 over Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Then we had some drop kicks, some good, cool tornado moves. We know that there was a toe pick on Hello. Nothing felt that botched except probably like a spot over the apron. Finn Balor thought he had the upper hand, like doing the drop kick, missile drop kick with the choke slam until Edge came back with his cool ass Gangrel entrance, looking like Star-Lord with the spiked red jacket, pulling up and spearing both guys. Double 619 on Finn Balor, and it ends up with the Mysterios with the victory. And furthermore, I guess trying to issue up a storyline still involving the Mysterios. We're probably going to be seeing a 6-man tag or something in the future. Judgment Day could have had a great potential to be a major heel faction until like you remove like a Hall of Famer that can still go and still gets major pop. Even like can grab attention because he can also do good heel work, to a guy that got into developmental twice, never changes much of his physique or moveset, and has as much personality as I have subscribers. So I don't get it. I don't really get the notion why Finn Balor is still rated to this point to still be having these pay-per-view matches and even owning a heel faction, other than just being referenced for the Bullet Club, and he's still looking like a minor threat. Awesome. Also, he mocked Eddie Guerrero, so fuck you. Then we had bum-ass Corbin versus Pat McAfee. Yes, the Pat... Literally, there was an orchestra singing out bum-ass Corbin after Corbin was making his entrance in the long-ass stadium, by the way. Plus, the stage looks stupid. It's just the same thing they'd probably do for the Royal Rumble whenever they do those baseball stadiums. With just a giant TV this time instead of miniature Titantrons, just showing the animation. Why not just show music stuff? Put it in a bar. Add some barrels, guitars, Elvis, something. I don't need to see this. I don't need to just see the giant TVs. WWE, you guys used to be notable for making your pay-per-views have a certain atmosphere. That's what people grew up with. Why always want to try to make it just giant live event with lack of an atmosphere? You think you're going to make WrestleMania that way? How do you think people are going to remember SummerSlam? That's just been as old as WrestleMania. Are you kidding me? But this match was fun. Even like Pat McAfee, he alone has more charisma than the 7th of the roster. And he made Corbin actually look somewhat feasible, even though he buried his NFL career. Not even trying to insult him that much. Like, the most I saw Corbin do was a deep 6 and trying to use clotheslines. McAfee started off the gate with a super kick. Like a tornado DDT. There was a superplex spot. Like, my man was doing moves and actually selling them, and the fans were on their feet. Until he came over with a sunset flip into a pinfall after Corbin after the ref was taken down, and he used a low blow to his advantage so he can score it. McAfee just shows why he's just such a double threat as a commentator, as a personality, and even as a wrestler. He gets the fans invested. And it's sad how most of the non-wrestlers are actually selling more for the pay-per-view and making it more enjoyable than most of the roster whining for a job. We even had a Max Dupree segment with Mustafa Ali and Mace from Retribution. And Mace looking like the metrosexual version of that Orlando Jordan gimmick from TNA back in 2010 when he came around trying to sexually assault that guy from the British Invasion. Terry something. That buff dude that used to be a bodybuilder. That's what he looks like. Just like squirting nut on him, on his chest and shit. That's how sus it was. They were advertising water. They keep caressing that, playing with it. Like, I don't get this whole male model shit. It makes no sense. We could have had Dupree, like, selling out bodybuilders or something, or at least trying to advertise new wrestlers. No, but you're probably gonna have these guys acting like Ricos back in the day. Like, chill. Nobody wants a action figure of these guys. You gotta be kidding me. I would have asked for my release permanently. If that was the case, that was my gimmick in 2022. So, If that's the standpoint that we're going by, I hope these two get released. Eli Drake has a lot more promise. I don't mind him having the managerial role if he's in his later years. If he's not, at the age where we can consistently push him, I get it. But give him something more to work with. Isn't Apollo Crews and Aziz on NXT now? After they were getting over by a different country with their whole Nigerian plus the Black Panther movie is coming out in like November. Why aren't you guys capitalizing? That makes no sense. Then we have the Street Profits versus the Usos for the Undisputed Tag Team titles. And it involved Jeff Jarrett as the referee, because, it's his hometown of Nashville. A cool cheerleaders entrance involving the Tennessee Titan cheerleaders, except that one male cheerleader was, I think, way too into it. He was already looking wet off the gaze. He was already completely fucking soaked for no reason. But at least it was energetic. It was cool to see the Tennessee Titan cheerleaders, and the Street Profits had a cool entrance. I'm not gonna lie, the Usos just came as the Usos, and the match was pretty okay. Jeff Jarrett was barely laying down the law. Uso trying to threaten Jeff Jarrett would have made this imaginative, but it just felt like another match. Just double teaming. Michael Cole just sucking off the Usos, already calling them the greatest tag team of all time. They kept trying to force forward. Angelo Dawkins was getting overpowered off the double teaming and isolating. Double super kick. As soon as we thought that Ford always had a chance, the Usos always pull up with a kick out of nowhere. And Ford, they keep teasing over that he keeps getting screwed over by the referees. And he keeps showing more serious and more agitated personality than regular. And he keeps selling that factoid into the match. But it ends with a double super kick on Dawkins. And again on Dawkins with the 1D. Yeah, they rip off the 3D and call it the 1D now. Because one day-ish. Get it? So it ends with a rip-off 3D to win the match. The match was good. It was fast-paced, but it was the same thing like Money in the Bank, except Jeff Jarrett was the referee. Didn't much play a factor, except he did get super kicked in the middle of the match. And this time Jeff Jarrett caught it, but that barely played a factor. And they referenced that him being the special guest referee at SummerSlam to Jesse Ventura when he was in the main event with the triple threat involving Mankind, The Rock, and Triple H for the WWF title. Well, that was in the main event. Then we had Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. And Liv Morgan was completely overpowered, outclassed. Decent like selling of the arm by Liv, showing how out of her level she is, getting just judo tossed all over the place, selling over the arm bar, and they did a dusty ass finish. This match was like at least like 11 minutes of just Liv Morgan getting tossed down like a ragdoll. Ronda should have just blew her out and just caused a short reign with Liv being sold as inexperienced. But they just pushed over a dusty finish even though how outclassed it was. I really don't care about Liv Morgan being world champion. All because you guys jack off to these chicks over in their IG page of them being somewhat attractive doesn't really mean that they should sell over being a champion. It makes zero sense, especially if they're not much of a draw or people don't want to see them that much. Like, more people talk about toxic attraction on NXT than they do about majority of the women on the roster. Because what? Mandy Rose looks like you can put her on a magazine. Gigi Dobbins probably looks like she already slept with half the roster. I don't know about the other chick. But they're just somewhat average looking women are like cute. Like, Liv is cute. She's not somebody that you could promotely put against like women like Ronda Rousey that literally look combat ready. And already a notable UFC person. So there should have been already like a blowout. They did need to push over Dusty Finish to probably make this an extensified trilogy that people asked for, obviously. Also, we had Riddle before the match started. We had Riddle coming out of nowhere, trying to call out over Rollins after the match being postponed due to his neck injury. That's what they sold over. And after their brawl involving the officials coming to stop it, he gets curb stomped. Obviously, selling there's a more severe injury to Matt Riddle. So I guess that's gonna be sold over for later. Then we had Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in the last man standing match for the undisputed Universal Championship. Shian. And I gotta say, match was fun. Very crazy. Brock pulled up in a goddamn tractor. Roman's entrance was first. That was weird, but the tractor played a factor in the majority of the matchup. Even though it took everybody and God to stop Brock from getting up from the count of 10. I'm being dead ass. Pushing him over the tractor, German suplex, guillotine chokehold. Brock barely even got out of the count of 6. And 7. I was going crazy. Shout out to YTC. If you guys were disappointed that I didn't stream, I was visiting YTC's stream frequently around the time when I was watching with my little bro. And I was mostly there around the main event time. And I guess the match opener, if you guys watch that back. Pull up to his channel. See a lot of his sports streams. He somewhat does wrestling, but primarily the pay-per-views. But, yeah, this was crazy. Even literally launching him into the ring using the tractor and literally dropping him like a dead body, tossing him full of evidence onto the middle of the ring where he barely got out of the count of 8. Could have been better to just lay him there, but I think it only counts if you're with both shoulders down on the floor. And it ends with literally Lesnar tilting the goddamn ring. He literally tilted. This guy came from imploding the ring back in like 03 to literally using a tractor and tilting over the ring with Roman Reigns in it. I thought he was about to tilt over and bury half of the goddamn ring with him. They were still brawling out to the back after Roman got up near ringside, and Lesnar kept getting like dominant. I think there was still a spot over with the commentary table. The Usos came up with the double super kicks. Austin Theory attempted to cash in after both men were down. The match was getting more crazy after Lesnar overpowered him. Roman was just whipping him, hitting him with the Money in the Bank, whipping him with the Money in the Bank, hitting him with both world titles. Still got up. Steel Step, still got up. Spear, still got up. Literally had to bury him, but most of the equipment in the ringside and standing on it to count it. Roman Reigns retains the Undisputed Universal Championship. I needed my drink for that. But that match was fucking great. I'm not gonna lie. Just every time Brock is in the ring, you expect something crazy to happen. This was a hell of a show. Even how played out Roman and Lesnar's matches are, they are never boring. And showing how, like, even though how shit the product is, in the way of them doing it in a consistent set, when it comes to them making a pay-per-view, they are barely disappointing. The only thing that I found sad were, shockingly, the women's matches. Even though people are going to be like, oh my god, Bayley's coming back. Jay Leno's coming back in drag. And she's going to... Oh my gosh, there's so many great matches involving Bianca. And now Becky's the face. Like, that's going to be everybody's major conversation. When damn well nobody was reacting to that entire match. So that just shows the interest of the women's division in general to the general public when we were drawing a literally preseason amount of seats for NFL-wise when it came to 40,000 in attendance in a football stadium, but we're still tarping goddamn Monday Night Raw episode arenas. So that just shows that Raw can still put up an exciting show. Hopefully consistently. But even with the rating change, I doubt it. But currently, I'm going to give this like a good 7 out of 10. Summerslam was actually enjoyable. And if the casual likes it, like my little brother, and nothing about it stopped him from watching. I felt like the SummerSlam did a good job. Clash of the Castle, uh, I don't know if they're gonna have Drew win it, because I guess they're gonna sell over the factor of Roman holding the belt for over 900 days or something. But it would be cool to see if Drew won it in Europe to actually sell over a big pop, especially since there hasn't been a major pay per view for Europe since those Insurrection days, or if you guys remember Rebellion. So that's the only extent I have. Plus, this is coming early September, so for the rest of August, we won't be having a pay per view. I don't know why shovel it that much. I guess for the extensive build that they're trying to have for the rest of the month. I mean, the lack thereof, because that's 5 weeks. We have to wait until the next pay per view. But besides that, uh, enjoyable. That's as much as I can say for this pay per view, and I never got bored. Except around the Liv Morgan and Ronda match, because I probably knew how that was going to go, and they teased over Charlotte coming back, so I guess there's some anticipation, but as much as I can handle. The biggest bright spot was the main event, Edge coming back, and of course, Logan Paul's performance. I hope you guys enjoyed the show and the review. That's it for me. If you want to watch more of my content and hear my point of views and my other takes, please subscribe and share it to your friends and close loved ones and your side piece. Thanks for watching.